Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with Clifton with Sunflower Nikki. Let's take a look at the clip.
As opposed to what? Handing him a death wish? Prancing him around with dolls and flowers in his head?
That's a little extreme.
You lost your mind, you fat. Let's get back to the boy. Let him fill his head with all that feminine nonsense to threaten his survival as a man.
As far as I'm concerned, the only threat to his survival is this.
Happiness in the breeze, growing fast.
What toy?
Sunflower Nikki.
Take a chance.
Thought we talked about this.
But Nikki, I could be free.
What exactly do you need to be free from?
I don't know.
Clifton, welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family. It is a pleasure. If you could feel the vibrancy in this room, we are just electrifying each other right now. I am so proud of you. We're so proud of you for making Sunflower Nikki and bringing it to us. For those that haven't seen it, and look at those amazing earrings, by the way, with the sunflowers. For those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
Thank you, Danny, so much for those kind words. So Sunflower Nikki is a coming-of-age story following an 8-year-old boy and his journey of freedom of expression through wanting to own a doll, and the challenges that brings into his conservative household. So you really get this colorful journey of a kid just really wanting to express himself and be happy how he wants to. And then you see the divide that brings with his family and oftentimes the challenges that goes between those parents and how they want to raise their kid, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I watched the film a few times with my cats. And I cried my eyes out, and even just thinking about your film again, I'm like already feeling the tears again, because your film is so important on so many levels. There's so many reasons why you should have made this film. Like, it is, everybody needs to see it, because it will teach parents, it will teach community, it will teach what it's like, what that experience is like as a young person going through that. For you, Clifton, when was that moment for you when you decided to take this idea, this story, and turn it into a film?
Yeah, so the script actually started as a writing prompt for a Lena Waithe competition.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was just, the prompt was write a coming-of-age short. So and around that time, there was a lot of controversy about a host of a very famous award show being fired because of some statements they made. Yes. And there was a lot of discourse around whether or not the statements that he made was appropriate. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of people protecting his right to say those things, which we're in America, he has every right to do it. But I was like, why is there so much discourse around kids just expressing themselves? And why do we continue to project our fears and our hatred onto kids without just giving them the freedom to just be? And so I thought to come up to write a coming-of-age story about a young boy wanting to play with a doll. It started out titled Sunflower Barbie, changed because obvious reasons. Yeah. But after writing just that prompt, that script, I took it to my really good friend Victoria, who's a senior executive producer of my film, and she was like, Cliff, you should make this. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I'll get behind you. Let's do it. And then from there, everything just kind of fell into place with finding the right people to bring this to life, and the journey began.
Yeah, I mean, amazing. I mean, goodness me, not only did you write a fantastic story, Lena Waithe, we had quite a few alum has been through her program, so we love you, Lena, thank you. But no, you've obviously got an incredible team, but my goodness, your cast just blew it out of the water. Like, tell us how you brought your cast together. And, you know, this is a sensitive topic, whether you're the mom, the dad, the child, you know, all the other people that are involved. so you know, from the process of casting, but also the process of being a director and how you directed your actors too.
Yeah, so casting took a little bit longer than we anticipated. We went through a few different versions of casting, just with the length of the film. It took about 4.5 years for us to fully complete this film.
Yeah.
And so we ended up 2 years into it casting Jacquet, who plays our mother in the film, Yvette. And we wanted to cast Nicholas first, but we weren't getting a lot of submissions for it through Backstage and Actors Access, and I couldn't really put my finger on why. I kind of just put it on, this is an interesting script, and folks might not want to submit their kids for it. It was an interesting time.
Oh, it's
so
not on you, don't worry.
Yeah. And so we ended up casting Jacquet, and we had Jacquet for about 4 to 5 months before getting an email through Backstage of this mom who's like, hey, I think this is wonderful. I would love for my kid to audition for this. And she sent us his information, and we were like, oh, well, yeah, this is great. Like, thank you for submitting. And we got him to audition. We were like, oh my God, this kid is brilliant. Yeah. And perfect, and then things just started to match up, and I was like, okay, we got this beautiful, beautiful cast together. And the directing process of it was really great. I'm an actor myself, so as a director, I like to direct from an actor's point of view, because actors are interesting folks, and you have to talk to us in specific kind of ways for us to understand what you want to bring out of us for this scene. And so I really just wanted to create a community based atmosphere, so that way my actors can not only bring what they are capable of bringing to the role, but be able to navigate them through the waters of the scene to get them where the natural tone and rhythm of the scene is. And, you know, there were a couple of challenges, but I think the beauty of it is being able to just come together and find that perfect like middle ground.
You did, and you got it.
Yeah. And the actors were just so great, and I made sure to provide so much care as much as possible and as much needed, and uplift them, and they also brought care to the characters, and I think that just created this like healing dynamic for something that is traumatic.
Absolutely, and triggering too as well. You know, no, I can tell there was a lot of love. I could feel that energy, and it's certainly nice because you get more from your team when you're a caring person and caring about the project on both sides. Visually, aesthetically, this was beautiful to watch. Like, I loved your imagination, your vision, you know, from the sunflowers to just very particular moments, you just looks on faces that would just, you know, send a chill down you, or just a moment where you realize you stop breathing for a second because you're in it. How did you obviously had a great vision. I love my sunflowers. I've always got sunflowers at home. But like, how did you artistically want to kind of visualize it? Because the world and dreamy elements you brought in took us into this like world. Yeah, well, I am an aesthetic kind of girl. Like, I love pretty pictures. I love, in any kind of genre, I love watching something and being like, wow, that was really pretty, from the costumes to the hair to the way we take it cinematically. And I have to give a shout out to my cinematographer, Monica Mejia. She was just perfect. From the moment I reached out to her and sending her the script, then her reading it and us meeting for the first time, it was just the perfect partner for this script. And she just understood the music needed, like, and the musicality and the beauty in that, and the poetry in the film. And I didn't realize that I write poetically. Yes, you do. With my scenes, that it becomes almost like a dance. Yeah. And so to have a cinematographer that kind of like understood that from the script and be able to work together and bridging all that together on screen, it was really magical. And
for me, I just wanted something pretty. I wanted also this. While there's trauma happening, there's such a beauty in the innocence of it,
Yeah.
and the joy of it, and I really wanted that to shine through, because it was important for me to see Black boys,
Yeah.
Black skin, Black people in bright colors.
Yeah.
We don't see that we don't see that a lot, in yellows and pinks and hues, and seeing that contrast. And Monica was so great in building that contrast from the monochromatic tones of his reality to the colorful escape of his dream world in this sunflower palace. And so it was a beautiful, beautiful ride in getting there. And also shout out to Brittany Campbell with the costumes and
Stunning.
understanding that vision. Yeah.
Stunning. Oh my goodness, like there's, so many layers which you've brought to the film, and you put so much care into all these very important elements as well. Even from my tiny, tiny little perspective, the healing, the energy that I got from just experiencing that as a young queer person was so mesmerizing. I was just, and I've already, just told you just the influence that you've had. I think this should be in every school, with every family that's ever gonna have kids, because you are doing something so incredible, but through the lens of this young person, in this, Black American household, from this perspective, through this lens that we don't see, that you've just explained about. How important was it for you, and what did you want your audience to take from your film?
Just that. As an artist, it is important for me to create universal storylines that folks can connect to, but seen through the lens of Black folks and Black queer folks. And I think that as human beings, we are consistently, it's like a circle of generational trauma and curses, and that we inflict upon each other, starting with kids. And I am just so about the innocence of children. There's so much conversation about this term indoctrination that conservative folks use against queer people. And it's like, no, the first form of indoctrination is you forcing your kid or telling your kid how to behave and pushing an agenda on them, when they're just trying to play with a doll or dance or learn how to cook or sing. Simple things that we as human beings just want to do and try to do, and oftentimes don't have the space to be able to do that. And so for me personally, I know I grew up playing with dolls. I didn't have that kind of home. And my mom knew that I played with dolls. However, my mom did not want to put me in dance class and in ballet because of that. And so it might not be, a doll, but it might be dance class, it might be sports, it might be choir, theater, doing hair, cosmetology, things like that people place all of these gender restrictions on. And it's just like, that has nothing to do with anything. And it's just a projection of fear, it's a projection of hate. And it's a little bit of a sexual projection as
absolutely.
well.
100%.
And it's like, y'all, what a lot of conservatives are putting the blame on liberals and LGBT folks, they're the ones that are doing that. And then those kids grow up with that trauma, and they go to school, they inflict that onto other kids, they inflict that onto themselves, and it just becomes a revolving door of trauma.
Absolutely.
And for me, it's just about, uplifting that, understanding that, and showing a way for us to move forward.
Well, you're doing that. Queer people just want to feel safe in their love and their identity, and I'm gonna say this, your film, as wide as you're gonna reach it, it's going to save lives. And that's why your film is that important, because you will literally save lives with your film. So I'm so happy you're a filmmaker, that you're leading this path for so many. I'm so proud of you. I know, me too, me too. Where are you taking us next, Clifton? Like, I'm sorry, we're tearing up over here and we got no Kleenex.
Well, we've been doing festival season for about a year, and have been a part of some beautiful festivals, including NFMLA, and the Palm Springs LGBTQ Festival, Los Angeles LGBTQ Film Festival, the LA Black Film Festival. And so continuing until about October, waiting to hear back from a couple of festivals to see if we're going to continue showing, and then next is either it's releasing the film. I think for me, it has been done. It has been completed for over a year now, and so now I think it's important for people to see it.
Yes.
And so next is distribution for me, whether that is through a partnership or through YouTube or Vimeo, something like that. For me, next is just getting it out there for people to see it, for people to have access to it and to watch it, so they, in turn, can take those lessons, learn from them, and express that on to someone else. You know, the pay it forward method.
Well, wow, thank you. Well, we're so proud to have you part of our family. Thank you for your art, your authenticity. It's amazing. Thank you to all of your cast and crew that made it happen as well. You got an amazing team, and we're looking forward to seeing your next work, Clifton.
Shout out to the family.
Yeah,
they
shout
really
out to the
did.
family.
They did that thing.
Thank you, Clifton, everybody.